Today is the 2nd of December 2024. We are at the Freedom Park Heritage Site in Pretoria, and we are marking 30 years of the Land Restitution Act. And it's an opportunity for us to reflect. My name is Nomfundo Ntloko. I am the Chief Land Claims Commissioner. Our country, in 1994, opted to acknowledge the dispossession of the people that were dispossessed of their land, and therefore the Restitution Act. So it is a milestone on its own, the fact that there was a decision to introduce legislation that is linked to the Constitution. So our obligation really today is for us to reflect on the 30 years, but also to ask ourselves the question, what do we do then going forward? Just for you to have a sense of who we are, we have a staff complement currently of about 755 members across all 9 provinces. But at the beginning of the life of the Commission, the staff complement was supposed to be 1,500 at the beginning. We currently have half of that, and the work, as you can imagine, has doubled and tripled. But I am proud to say that I work with a group of people who are committed to the mandate of restitution, and we understand that this is a reflection, but also a celebration of a decision that was made 30 years ago to say that we will do restitution.
Minister Mzanele Ngonso, Deputy Minister, Chairperson of National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Members of Parliament present here. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm told he will be in the audience also and part of the participants. Premier of Gauteng Province, MEC and members of the provincial legislature and provincial legislatures and councillors present here. Chief Land Claims Commissioner, May Ntloko, representatives of the Public Service Commission, officials from the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development, members of the academic, research, and legal communities, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Di Machero. We gather today at Freedom Park to mark 30 years of Restitution of Land Rights Act. The theme of our day is Dignity Restored through the Land Restitution Act. This theme, ladies and gentlemen, captures the spirit of this strategic reflection. Together, we must advance the vision of a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous South Africa through land reform. Hence, those who went into the battle trenches and died for the liberation of this country always fought on one maxim and principle that says, we are fighting for the land question.
Today is not only about the 90% of the old order claims that has been finalized. It's not only about the 5,000 plus old order claims that still may be processed. It's not only about the 26 billion rand that was spent on buying land for restitution beneficiaries. It is not only about the 26 billion spent on land claim beneficiaries in terms of grants, but today is also to reflect on the challenges and proposed policy recommendations and possible amendments to current legislation. It's also to create a platform of engagement on the current Act, and also to showcase the work of the Commission through successful projects shedding light on land restitution.
We are creatures of statute. We need to make sure that we look at the statute as it stands and reflect on what it is that needs to be changed in order for us to be much more impactful, perhaps, than we are.
Restitution is nothing else, but it's about restoration. Because it is the asset which the Creator bequeathed to all of us. Heal the divisions of the past. You heal because there is illness. You heal because there's injury.
While the intention of land restitution was to empower black people, ironically it has empowered the white farmers far better than it has empowered our black people, because we are already impoverished as a community. Now, if you impose a burden of a private farm in my hands without anything to work that farm, what do you expect me to do? Remember, black communities, they are just having an economic situation. It's not that they are brainless or they do not have good ideas to implement restitution together with government.
Program Director, thank you for inviting me to address you on this occasion, which marks 30 years since the passing of the Restitution of Land Rights Act number 22 of 1994. This act mandates the establishment of the National Land Claims Commission and the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development. These government entities have been leading land reform through land redistribution, land tenure reform, and land restitution. The work of these government organs over the past 30 years has not been easy. The greatest challenge has been the pace of restitution. This government is telling you that that you matter, that through land your dignity will be restored. We welcome all suggestions and especially fresh new ideas on land reform, but we cannot solve complex problems with simplistic solutions and slogans. And neither can we impose solutions on our people. In the next 5 years, we need to work together to dismantle the structural inequalities that perpetuate this legacy of inequality in land access, rural underdevelopment, and reclaim the promise of dignity, freedom, and equality for all our people.
I don't know, Minister and Deputy Minister, of any nation in the world, I don't know of any nation in the world that has recovered from 352 years of dispossession, pillage, plunder on its own. I don't know, there is not a single one. So let us not mask the problem with statistics. Let us investigate the true reality on the ground. So you can see for yourself that these statistics about racialized inequality, etc., are actually true on the ground as well. The chiefs are trustees, but they hold the land with limited trusteeship rights. But the land is community land. It's owned by the communities. And if it means that you are going to have disagreements with the chiefs, so be it. You are not voted by the chiefs, you are voted by the people.
I think that there's a lot of food for thought, but I will not waste your time. The Public Service Commission is an integral part of what we do.
Section 25 is particularly clear. And I agree with the advocate that willing buyer, willing seller is a fiction. It's a fiction in particular in respect of land restitution. The courts made it clear that when you're dealing with land restitution matters, it is a restitution matter between the claimant and the state. The owner of the land that is being claimed has no right in respect of that other than just and equitable compensation, which is a matter we can debate at a later stage. Our recommendations are quite clear in terms of the report. One, there needs to be a review of the Restitution Act. It is 1994. It is, I think, the oldest act of our democratic dispensation. It is archaic. There are contradictions within the act itself, and I think that needs to be remedied. But the Commission needs to function as an independent entity. It needs to be adjunct from the department, absolutely, but it needs to function as an independent entity, pretty much like a chapter body.
In the spirit of critical engagement with achievements, challenges, and what remains to be done, that I offer my reflections on the work so far. But first, I also want to use this opportunity to acknowledge my colleagues with whom I served on the first commission, Joe Seremani, Gilingiwe Mayende, and 3 comrades who sadly have passed on, Emma Mashinini, Wallace Ngoki, and Dirkie Gilfillan. The Commission reports that there are over 163,000 new order claims, nearly twice as many as the so-called old order claims that were lodged by the end of 1998. As we've already heard, despite all the negativity around the failures of land reform, many claims have been successful. Successful inasmuch as past dispossessions have been acknowledged, reparations, both material and psychological, made, and a degree of dignity restored.
The Land Court's origins lie in the establishment of the Land Claims Court in 1996 under the Restitution of Land Rights Act. That court was tasked with adjudicating claims of restitution by individuals and communities dispossessed of their land as a result of racially discriminatory laws and practices. While the Land Court has a crucial role in advancing South Africa's land reform agenda, its effectiveness is severely constrained by challenges in staffing, infrastructure, capacity, and funding. Addressing these issues will require strategic planning, significant investment, and a commitment to equitable access and efficient operations. By overcoming these obstacles, the Land Court can serve as a powerful vehicle for justice and reconciliation in South Africa's land reform process. Thank you.
This organization was established in 2003. And in the main, we are advocating for the land claimants and for those that have title in the protected areas, which is in the conservation areas. It is, for us, we will never go back to this land. And that is why we feel that we are central to this department, and we've got to make sure that we advocate for these people's rights. As community leaders, we acknowledge the progress that is made by this institution. But we also want to highlight the many challenges that we have experienced along the way. We are still experiencing long and tedious restitution processes. We are still experiencing lack of transparency and unclear policy position from the department.
I request then that we call upon the chief directors that have claims, title deeds that need to be handed over to just please come to the fore so that the ministers can then lead the process of the title deed handovers.
There were important take-home points and recommendations. Let me assure you that all comments will receive our attention. And I hope Commissioner, as recommendations nizazizisa sizijonge sizimplemente as soon as possible.